Today we are going to start a new lesson, which is conservation, section 5 in chapter 16. The key concept of our lesson is conservation methods can help protect and restore ecosystems. What is the meaning of the word conservation? يعني give me example of how you conserve something. Conserving. What is conservation? In your own words, شو يعني conservation? In your daily life, how you conserve things?
keep something
Around
protected.
yeah.
Keep something protected or saved.
Bravo. Conserving, you are protecting something. صح. هلا احنا we are talking about take care of things. يعني conservation means to take care, to protect. Bravo. فاحنا we are talking about conservation for what? What is the most important thing to conserve now in our
Ecosystem.
The ecosystem. Okay? فهلا هدول الميثود they are very important to maintain the stability of ecosystem not only for us for the future. انتوا حيصير عندكم اولاد اولادكم حيصير عندهم اولاد طب هدول they need these resources in the ecosystem. احنا بنحافظ على الايكو سيستم for the future مش بس إلنا والله no we have to be responsible. ففي عندي انا conservation method هدول الميثود help to protect and restore ecosystem. ايش يعني restore? to return back. to return اذا صار عندي اي change بالايكو سيستم it can be returned back يرجع لحالته الطبيعيه. Okay, so if we look here هذا علق sorry. There are something called sustainable development which manages resources for present and future generations. هلا احنا the most important thing to conserve عشان نحافظ على الايكو سيستم هو to manage resources والhabitat for the living things. Okay? فهدول resources like what? أعطوني example of natural resources we have and we must conserve. أعطوني examples of things that we have to conserve. Our resources we have to conserve and take care and keep. أعطوني example. يلا. مين بده يعطيني example على resources, natural resources that we should conserve? حمزة. Tala. Hello, Brant. Yes.
مس أكيد التريز.
يعني plant. برافو. إيش كمان؟ اسأل. غير plant.
Maybe
yes,
كمان.
ديلارا هاي ديلارا will help you. Yes, ديلارا.
Okay, animals.
برافو animals. Excellent. طيب شو رأيكم بالsoil? Is it important to conserve the soil?
Yes.
Yes.
تعرفوا انتوا انه when they make cutting for trees in the forest هذا هلا التري هلا it's good انها بتعطينا ايش البنفيتس of the trees. يعني انا عندي tropical rainforest هاي التريز اعطيني ايش البنفيت اللي نستفيد منها من هذول التريز for the ecosystem. يلا اول شيء ايش هو the main important benefit for the trees؟ وجود التريز في اي منطقه ليش مهم؟
عشان الأكسجين.
برافو. أول شيء it increase the oxygen amount in the atmosphere. برافو. إيش كمان؟ What else؟ مش هي habitat for many living things؟
Yes, it's a food source.
ممكن تكون food source. برافو عليكي. habitat for many living things. وفي عندي كمان very important thing إن the root for these trees will hold the soil. هي بتمسك الsoil in its place. لو أنا ما عندي لو أنا صار عندي rain, okay, and this area was empty, no trees in this area. The rain or the water of the rain will move the soil away. رح تعمل erosion. وهذا شو بيعمل؟ بيخلي الثيكنس تاعت الsoil to be less. وبتبطل الsoil بتبطل good soil for planting. فبرضه الsoil is very important. The resources that we have to keep are plants, animals, soil, water to keep it clean. فإحنا عندنا هنا cutting trees مش بس إحنا عمالنا we kill plants we damage habitats. لا إحنا كمان we are make it easy for soil to be eroded. يصير لها erosion للsoil. اوكي؟ طيب في عندي manage some sustainable development. هذا sustainable development هو thinking أو practice. sustainable يعني عارفين شو يعني كلمة sustainable؟ sustainable إنك أنت تحافظ على استدامة الشيء، يعني it continue to supply you with things. It doesn't stop. استدامة اللي هي continuing. فأنا عندي sustainable development. That means it's a way of thinking or a practice that maintains a supply or support to maintain the needs of the ecosystem, and at the same time, not only for nowadays, also for the future. إذا هو sustainable development هو practice يعني أشياء بنعملها okay that meet in need of and manages resources for present and the future generation without hurting the future generation. يعني تصرفات أشياء بنعملها طرق نستعملها practices هذول هم sustainable development. في عندي practices we use it to meet بنضلنا إحنا قادرين meet need توفر لنا احتياجاتنا without hurting the future generation. وبنفس الوقت manages resources for the future generation. Okay? فبهاي الحالة if we follow the sustainable development the resources will meet current needs and will be available for the future use. Is it clear? Is it clear? تمام. I want someone of you please to say or repeat what I said again. What is the meaning of sustainable development without reading alone? What did you understand? What is the meaning of sustainable development? Yeah, who can tell me? Sustainable development, what that means? Yes, you're Dilara.
Okay. It is a practice in which natural resources are used and managed in a way that meets current needs without hurting future generations.
برافو، هي practices طرق تستعمل why يعني to meet the needs of the resources بنفس الوقت it doesn't hurt the future. نستعمل احنا هدول الريسورسز بطريقه تحافظ على استدامه هاي resources for the future. It keep it for the future. هلا we will see and will understand more. Thank you Dilara. هلا هنا one of the things that impact the ecosystem is cutting trees. حكينا عن cutting trees صح؟ I will go to the book just 1 minute. Can you see the page of the book? IMS, can you see the page of the book I shared? Hello?
I still see the PowerPoint.
I cannot hear you. Again?
Yeah, we only see the PowerPoint. Oh, I see.
On the PowerPoint then. Okay, no problem. I will go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, can you see this picture? Hi, picture is a picture of forest. And this forest has a lot of trees. تمام. هلا احنا we said one of the impacts of human activity is cutting trees. Why we cut trees? Why people cut trees? For what? For what we use the trees? مين بيعرف? Why we cut trees? يلا يا see someone new. Hisham, why we cut trees يا Hisham? Tasneem.
So we usually one of the main reasons is to make make houses, or usually to burn wood if you're camping or anything like that.
Yes, they cut trees to use the wood for industry, for many things, to make many things from the wood, right? طيب هلا cutting trees is important. We need to cut trees. ما نقدرش نوقف نقول ممنوع نقص الشجر. We cannot say انه stop cutting trees forever. We can't. We need this. Okay. But on the other hand, we should manage the cutting of the trees. Cutting of trees should be managed. How? I will tell you how. Just a minute. Okay. Some people want to. Why you are late, ya miss? Why you are late, ya miss? IMS, why you are late, حبايبي? You should be on time, please. Okay. هلا. There is something I would like to add here to ensure that Earth can continue to support or sustain a growing human population. يعني إحنا عندنا the human population is growing, okay? And our needs are increasing. But to ensure إنه هاي Earth can continue to support or sustain this growing of human population, it is important to secure the future of the Earth ecosystem. عشان هيك it's important مش بس إحنا يكفينا. We have to secure إنه نضمن إنه the future it's important to secure إحنا to يعني save أو to protect أو to make the future of our Earth ecosystem secure by using these sustainable development. هلا here I want to tell you something about the plant. إنه في عندي أنا something called clear cutting. Clear cutting means يعني they come to the forest and cut everything on the surface of the earth. Big, small, medium, anything. They make clear cutting for it. This practice is very harmful for the ecosystem. On the other hand, some companies, they choose a way to cut the trees by selecting trees, not cutting all the trees. They will select the trees that can regrow faster. Okay, يعني مثلا بيعرفنا هاي tree it takes hundreds of years to regrow again. But other trees, yeah, they can بيكونوا smaller trees, they can regrow quicker. فهاي practice بيعملوا choosing to cut selected trees rather than clear cutting trees أو clear cutting forests. Then what is the way to manage the cutting of trees? What is the way to manage the cutting of the trees? Yes. كيف احنا نقدر نعمل manage لل cutting of trees؟ بس I need practicing. What? When? ياسمين. ياسمين. منى.
Yes, miss.
يلا miss. مين ياسمين ولا منى؟
منى.
Okay, how are you, dear?
I'm good.
يلا. لا احنا قلنا I'm fine, dear. Thank you. Now, we said إنه cutting trees will have negative impact on the ecosystem, right? لأنه إحنا we lose habitat, but at the same time we need to cut trees. ما نقدر نوقف cutting trees. So what is the solution that we can do? إيش في companies عملت to manage this thing? شو عملت الcompanies؟ أنت كنتي معي لما شرحت هلا ولا لا؟ ركزتي معي ولا لا؟
أكون صريحة لا.
Okay. طب let's choose someone else who would like who
sorry,
was
miss.
okay.
I'm so
who
sorry.
was concentrating? Yes, Dilara.
Okay, so a lot of companies are choosing to cut selected trees rather than clear cutting forests.
بدل ما نعمل clear cutting للفورست صاروا يعملوا cutting أو choosing to cut selected trees. هدول selected trees بتعمل minimal impact on the forest ecosystem. بيكون تأثيرها أقل. ليش؟ لأنه when they choose where and when to harvest the trees بيكونوا عارفين هذول الفورسترز المزارعين أو اللي هم مسؤولين عن الفورست they choose إمتى when to cut the trees and where which type of trees they should choose and when إمتى نقصهم مين أحسن للشجرة to cut them in the summer ولا in the winter ترجع أنت بتكبر هي فهم they study them they choose where and when to harvest the trees. The forest must consider how the soil. يشوفوا برضه ياخدوا بعين الاعتبار الsoil, the water, the wildlife of the area that will be affected. They have to think, if I cut these trees, كيف هذا حيأثر على الwater, how this will affect the soil, and how this will affect the animals أو wildlife على هاي الاريا. فإحنا هدول لازم الكومبانيز they make strategy, خطة معينة to choose and cut selected trees. بنقوا selected trees حسب when, where, and when to cut them, and how this will affect any soil, water, wildlife. يعني مثلا they want to cut the trees وبيعرفوا إنه هاي trees it take long time to grow, so they don't cut it now. They go for other types of trees. بيعرفوا إنه هدول trees مثلا every season they will regrow. Okay? فبيعملوا لها cutting at its season. When it starts to grow بيعملوا cutting, they will know that it will regrow again. عرفتوا؟ And at the same time they have to consider إنه أنا I don't affect the soil ولا water ولا animals that live there. فلازم يكون عندي strategy. Okay? في عندي another thing هذا بالفرد. طيب بالwater, بالaquatic water. بالwater أنا صار عندي hunting للفيش بطريقة مخيفة. صاروا الناس يعني خلص أي حدا بده يعني living near the sea أو the ocean they can go and fish anytime. طب هذا this will harm the resource اللي هو aquatic resource of the fish. لو إحنا we keep overfishing and fishing. في أنا فيديو I want to show to you before هلا تذكرته عن clear cutting. خليني أورجيك كمان هذا when we go to the ocean. Okay, I would like to share this video with you guys. Alright, just a minute. Also, the internet is slow, so wait for me. Let us wait because anyway طبعا الاوشن هلا في الاوشن الاكواتيك لايف عندنا فيها many types of fish. طيب imagine if we keep fishing and fishing صار عندي overfishing. What will happen to the resource of these fish? What will happen? What do you think will happen if we keep overfishing and fishing and fishing?
There will be no more fish in the sea.
Again, Dilara, please. Again.
Then the number of fish will decrease.
يعني عليك. Population of the aquatic life will decrease. وفي عندي أنا في fish they can reproduce quickly or faster than other fish.
Strength, but its manufacturing
I will
capabilities.
show you this هلا. I will show you here an overcut and cutting of trees أو اللي هو clear cutting. How does it happen? شوفوا. Look.
There are well over 50,000 forest landowners in Oregon, each with different objectives for their forest.
The voice is clear?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
For many, harvesting trees is part of their management plan. West of the Cascades, in the Willamette Valley, a common harvest operation is clear cutting using a skyline logging system.
Clear cut essentially is the final harvest of a particular stand in a given area, removing all the wood products in that given area. It sounds very simple, but it's a very long, drawn-out process that starts maybe 2 years ahead of time. Clear cutting basically is the most efficient and safest way of removing timber from a designated area. It also mimics natural conditions and creates wide open spaces where Doug fir can get plenty of sunshine, which they need to grow and flourish. A skyline system runs a series of cables designed to extract the logs out of the forest floor with a minimal disturbance to the soil by suspending them lead end of the log. You're basically picking that log up, the lead end of the log up off the ground, and yarding it up to the landing. So you're not creating a furrow, you're dragging it up the hill with a minimal impact on the soil. A cable-based system, we basically use those where your slopes are steeper than 50%. You need a cable-based system to remove that timber safely and efficiently. So there are several benefits to skyline logging. One of them is that you're able to reach out a long ways with a skyline system. When you're
شايفين how the area or surface of the forest look here after tree cutting, and look here, they keep some trees. They don't cut all the area. في عندي they keep some trees. They select some trees to cut.
able to do that, you're minimizing the amount of roading that needs to take place. How can we build a road with minimal disturbance to natural water runoff? We make sure we have clean, fresh rock on those approaches. We make sure we have silt filter out sediment, and keeping the water clean and silt free is job one on those days. Oregon forest law requires us to replant the site within 2 years, and it needs to meet green up standards by 6. By state law, we're required to leave 2 live trees standing.
Okay. So clear cutting. We'll go back to our book. Okay, just a minute, guys. هلا هذا for the forest as we said. طيب, what about the aquatic life in the ocean? طب أنا عندي الأوشن كمان فيها resources قلنا, والfish, if we keep overfishing, okay, overfishing without any laws, without any legal laws, what will happen? The fish population will be depleted worldwide. شو صار عندي أنا هون? One reason for this is that the fish that are caught represent the healthy reproducing age group of fish population. By removing high reproducing individuals from the population, the fishing industry is actually hurting itself. يعني إحنا لما يصير عندنا بالindustry بالصناعة أو اللي هي الايكونومي اللي that depends on the fishing. هلا دائما شو بيعملوا fishing للفيش اللي بتكون ايش healthy و they can reproducing age, يعني good age, بيكونوا لسه بالmiddle age. وطيب if they keep hunting these population, okay, one time they will be depleted. طيب, if there is no fish, يعني without fish to reproduce now, there will be no fish for the future. إذا ضلينا إحنا نصيد hunting الفيش اللي هي بتكون healthy وبتكون at reproducing age, بعدين حيبطل في عندنا fish to reproduce. أوكي؟ وفي عندي كمان غير إنه overfishing, في عندي techniques بالفishing تعمل damaging للمارين والcoastal environment تحت السويل تاعت الأوشن, تعمل damaging لكثير habitats of the living things, aquatic life. فأنا techniques that we use in the fishing should be sustainable for fishing. Okay? هلا في عندي techniques are used to make industry sustainable, or to make the aquatic life or resources in the water sustainable. شو هدول التكنيك؟ أول إشي عندي rotation. قالوا why we keep catching the same type of the fish or the species every time. ليش ما نعمل rotation؟ مرة نخلي الدور على هذا النوع ومرة نخلي الدور على هذا النوع. يعني rotation, استعملوا تكنيك هي rotation, إنه rotating catches between different species. يعني أنا زي ما قلت لكم rotating catches, مرة I catch this type of fish in this period of time, then I will catch another type of fish. ليش? Why this is important? How this will help the species to be sustainable? مين بيعرف؟ لما أعمل rotation بالfishing, how this will keep the population of the fish sustainable? Who knows? This Tasneem.
Is it because it could help, because this could help avoid damaging like sea floors or prevent damaging the sea floor, or like killing it or like preventing important organisms from being killed if you like go for different species of fishes?
بس ما لها دخل بالفلورية، احنا عم نعمل روتيشن باي ذا كاتشز. يس يا بس ثانك يو جود يعني.
بس
يس ديلارا. ليان خلي ليان، يلا ليان.
Maybe it will allow the other type of fish to reproduce and everything.
يعني عليك. هلا احنا when we catch, let's say we catch one type this week. Next week خلينا هذا one type of fish we don't catch it. بس خلينا احكي لكم we catch small fish. هذا عشان نكون اكثر واضحين. We catch a small fish this week. هلا next week لا we stop catching the small fish. نعمل catching for the bigger fish, another type of fish. Okay? Why? To give chance for the small fish to recover their numbers, to reproduce, يعدلوا حالهم، بدأ يعوضوا اللي نقص منهم. نرجع نعمل rotation وهكذا. The rotating catches between different species gives off، تعطي لها السبيشيز off، بتريحها أسبوع time to recover their numbers following the harvest, following a harvest. ثاني شيء عندي fishing gear review. شوف fishing gear review. Can you see this بدي أوريكم هاي الصورة. Can you see this picture here؟ هاي شايفينها؟ Can you see this picture؟
Yes.
ولا لا؟
Yes, teacher.
هاي النت اللي فيها turtle شايفينها؟
Yes.
هلا هاي الفيشنج جير. فيشنج جير هي equipment used for fishing. تمام؟ زي كيف السنارة، وعندنا هاي النت. شايفين هاي الشبكات؟ في بتكون شبكات بتكون معدن يعني من ميتالز معمولة. أحيانا شو بيعملوا الفيشير؟ They drop the gear اللي هي equipment for hunting أو fishing. نقول عنه fishing مش hunting. For fishing they drop it in the ocean. وهاي بتكون go deep and they will collect everything in this net. يعني هلا بدهم مثلا نوع سمك معين، but when they drop this gear they will collect not only one type, they will collect everything that they go through. فهذا this يعني practice will harm the floors of the ocean. الفيشنج جير هدول used to catch الفيش can damage the sea floor وبرضه can catch other species that I don't need. زي هون شفتوا التيرتل هذا caught by this gear. فلا أنا لازم أعمل fishing gear review. إنه reviewing and possibly banning certain fishing gear could help avoid damaging the sea floor. أعمل stopping certain fishing gear. لازم في أشياء بطل أستعملها. هاي الجيرز that will collect everything together لا it must be banned يعني stopped. ليش؟ to avoid damaging the sea floor. اوكي؟ وفي عندي كمان من هدول الجيرز some types of organisms are killed. بنقتلوا. لأنه في جيرز بتكون heavy وبتكون من metals معمولة. Do you understand? Guys?
Use like specific types of gears to
Yes, specific reviewing of the gears. وكمان reviewing يعني if you collect something by using the gear, you have to review what did you collect. If you collected something that you don't want, you have to return it back to the water. Okay, and you have to review and to stop using the fishing gears that will damage the sea floor. And the sea floor can be living things, can be habitats. Okay, the third technique is harvest reduction. يعني to reduce or to slow the harvest of deep water species that grow very slowly. To allow them to give them time to recover their population. And don't hunt a lot. Don't fish a lot. Stop overfishing. Reduce the fishing. وآخر واحدة fishing bans. Fishing bans يعني creating and enforcing fishing bans in certain areas. إيش يعني fishing bans? Stopping Fishing bans, stopping of fishing in certain areas helps to replenish population within that area. And this will give chance or lead greater fish numbers to nearby locations. In في عندي أنا some areas they keep overfishing, fishing bans or rules or stopping should be created. It should be enforced. وفي عندي بلاد بتمنع. There are some cities or countries they have laws for fishing. Okay? Okay, guys. هلا for today we will stop. Any question?
No,
I
thank
think I'm.
طيب هلا let's make بدي I want to ask you بدي اخذ attendance and while I'm taking the attendance بدنا نعمل quick revision. Okay, what is conservation? What is the meaning of conservation? يلا يا تسنيم.
It means to preserve or say like keep or save a certain amount of something so you don't like waste it all.
And keep it for the future.
Yeah.
To meet your needs and keep it for the future. طب يعني ايش معنى sustainable development?
I answer this too.
Sustainable development. What's the meaning of sustainable development?
It's a way. It's like a practice of where they use natural resources and use it without wasting or hurting anybody, as well as keeping it, using it for the good reason for the future, right?
برافو عليكي. So إنه to use natural resources and manage the using of these resources in a way that meet your needs or meet the current needs, but at the same time don't hurt the future generation. Okay? And we said one of the conserving methods to conserve the trees. What was أعطوني one example or one method for conserving trees? Stop what? Yes يا بدي حدا ثاني غير تسنيم. براءة. يلا ديلارا تسنيم اليوم بس. يلا ديلارا.
the clear cutting and select like the trees that should be cut.
برافو عليكي. And to keep in your mind or consider at the same time when and where to cut.
Yes.
And also you have to see إنه هذا الcut اللي حنعمله how it will affect the ecosystem, how it will affect the wildlife or the water and the soil. Okay, so thank you guys for your attendance. See you tomorrow.